Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. I know it has been a minute since I have been here and I have missed you guys so much. I've been missing filming. I've just had so much going on and been busy, so I'll fill you in on all of that in a minute. But first, if you are new here, if you wouldn't mind hitting like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. Hopefully there will be more consistent videos than I have been. So today's video is especially going to be focused on the research I have done on focusing on vegan, cruelty-free, and allergen-free products, makeup and beauty products, because I'm hoping to go in the direction of being able to market and tout myself as a vegan, cruelty-free, allergy-free, clean, non-toxic beauty makeup artist. It takes a lot to be committed to that because there are not a lot of products out on the market that fit all of this criteria. So I was going to kind of go through the list of products that I have found because I thought they might be helpful for other people. There are some folks who are focused on vegan. There are some who just kind of have the value of, hey, I just want it to be cruelty-free. Some who absolutely have to do gluten-free. Some who have to do clean. So anyway, I've been on this quest to try to cover as much of those as possible. So one of my other businesses I'm launching has also been that I've joined Arbonne. If you've never heard of it, it is a multi-level marketing company where all of our beauty products do meet that criteria. We are clean and toxic free. There are like over 200 different allergens that we do not include in our brand. They're all gluten-free, they're all cruelty-free, and all are vegan. So that is one of the biggest reasons why I joined Arbonne. Is it was the right timing as I was building my kit and working towards being, you know, a professional makeup artist that can meet all of this criteria. And it was pretty awesome to be able to know that, hey, there's a brand where I know without having to go do all this research and comb the earth trying to find where one has this and one has that, but they don't have this and they don't have that. Arbonne has it all. And so that has been wonderful. That has been so convenient. But today's video is not to try to convince you of how wonderful Arbonne is, even though I love it. Because I do use all different brands in my makeup kit and in my blogging. And so, you know, I don't want to be just primarily one brand only. I do love to experiment and, you know, research and know my brands and everything. And so I thought it would be helpful to those of you who might want to know more about what your makeup contains and what the values are behind them. And so as I've been compiling my list and doing my research, I've got it all here in my matrix that I've made for my clients. So thought I'd do a whole video to share my knowledge. Okay, so we're gonna chat first. We're gonna go through who meets the cruelty-free category first of all. So let's talk about cruelty-free. In this day and age, what are we in, 2021? I don't mean to be one of those people, but I'm just gonna say it. I feel like there is absolutely zero excuses for still testing on animals in 2021. Just so I really like to look for companies in general who have that, you know, cruelty-free certification and definitely espouse that as their values. So there is a brand that is actually, this is my go-to drugstore brand for everything pretty much because they're the ones who meet the closest criteria on everything for me, similar to Arbonne for me. So this is my brand that's kind of my drugstore equivalent to Arbonne personally, and that is e.l.f. e.l.f. has it all. The affordability, the quality, and they're vegan, they are cruelty-free, they are gluten-free, and paraban-free. I mean, so there's some areas where, can you say they're non-toxic beauty? Can you say that they're clean? Not necessarily in every area, but paraban-free at least is a big one. So So e.l.f. is my #1 drugstore brand when it comes to pretty much everything, to be honest. So I've been really trying to scoop up a lot more e.l.f. when stocking my kit, because there's some things in the professional makeup kit that you gotta have high end, but then there's other things that it really just doesn't matter. You don't have to go as high end. Okay, so the next brand in the cruelty-free category, I'm just gonna kind of talk about drugstore brands first here. So the runner-up for me would be NYX Cosmetics. So they are completely cruelty-free. They are certified by PETA as cruelty-free. So just know, if you hit the PETA certified status, you are golden, because they got high standards. But anyway, so NYX is another one. I don't necessarily always find all products that I need with NYX. The things that I do use from NYX, I really do enjoy, but I don't find quite as much, it's not that I don't have good quality. There's some things I think are good quality, but they're not quite as versatile for me on finding the quality products I need. Those are my main two that you can always rely on as being cruelty-free at the drugstore. But a few that are kind of in the middle, like there's some who you can find some products that are cruelty-free, but not the whole brand is cruelty-free. So there are definitely a couple of items where I have struggled because there's just nothing like it, but there's not a drugstore cruelty-free option. So I have to just turn to my Arbonne, knowing that it is going to meet every criteria that I'm looking for. One of those things is the Garnier Micellar Water. It doesn't meet any of the criteria. It's not vegan and cruelty-free and all that jazz. But there's just not another drugstore equivalent, right, for micellar water. So there's a few things you can find online on like Amazon. And then there's a couple of like higher end type products, but you know, for as much as I go through micellar water, I just really wanted a cheaper drugstore option, and there's just not. Same goes with lashes and lash glue. I have to be careful about all of those, and even coming down to like brushes and brush cleaners. You know, I've been really trying to look through all of that. So we'll talk about lashes. So the lash brand that is safe is Ardell. And I really love the Ardell anyway for like bridal, because they have such tiny thin little bands. They are the easiest to apply. People feel them the least. You know, you get a lot of people that are just not comfortable wearing lashes. They never worn them in their life. And they're just like, what is this shit on my eyes? And they don't do well with you applying them. So the lighter the bands, the better. So Ardell is my go-to lash brand. And then both the Duo and Kiss lash glue are both vegan and cruelty-free. So those are kind of my top like lash and lash glues, and just to share that with you guys too. And so this is all just like kind of my drugstore picks. All right, let's talk about high end now. Okay. So I was terribly disappointed as I started buying up high end stuff. A lot of the stuff that I use already, because they're just, you know, my top favorite brands and everything. But as I was stocking my kit, it was like, holy shit, they are not cruelty-free? Really? So I'm gonna call these people out, but I was terribly shocked to find out that MAC Cosmetics, I cannot reliably say that they are cruelty-free. Bummer, because I have like 15,000 of their lipsticks. And you know, most professional makeup artists use MAC in some shape or form. My lights keep flickering off when I bump the table. I've got to fix that. Amazon's like humming in the background, so sorry guys. But yeah, cannot rely on MAC for pretty much any of this stuff. Okay, so Laura Mercier, cruelty-free but not vegan. Think I've got checked like Natasha Denona, Anastasia Beverly Hills, Ilamasqua, Urban Decay. Okay, so one that really meets all of them all the time is Tarte. Okay, so Tarte is gonna be a go-to for cruelty-free for sure. That one I could confirm brand wide. Also Sigma. I've always loved Sigma, but they definitely have that value as well. Okay, others, Morphe was confirmed cruelty-free. Juvia's Place, Kylie Cosmetics. Who else? Who are some of my, those are some of my, like, my main brands that I tend to use. I have Makeup Revolution, Violet Voss. I was not able to confirm that Lancome was either. Ofra, I do have as cruelty-free. Okay, so I think we covered cruelty-free. Let's talk about vegan for a moment. So there is a difference. You can be cruelty-free, which means not testing on animals and doing cruel things to animals in the name of beauty. But vegan is just like where you don't use a single animal product either. So you can be cruelty-free and not vegan. Unfortunately, there are very, very, very few brands that are vegan across the board. So there's a lot that are like, you can find some vegan options within the brand, but the whole brand is not vegan. So I hate that, where you have to like look up what's friendly and what's not. So a lot of those same brands I mentioned that are cruelty-free, you know, are kind of similar in that they have lots of vegan friendly products, but then they also have other products that are not vegan. So, for example, Anastasia Beverly Hills, Urban Decay, Tarte, Too Faced, you know, a lot of my top favorite people. It's just kind of like hit or miss. And you just have to research it by what you're using, like what product you're actually using. The brands that are like 100% vegan, there are very few. Like I said, Elf is one. So pretty awesome. And my Arbonne, of course, is another. That's really the only drugstore one I can think of that's like 100%. There might be another one, but I don't know of it. I know Elf is like completely, you can rely on it being vegan. Another brand that, so basically higher end now, Kat Von D. I'm pretty sure Jeffree Star is actually vegan. I might have to double check that though, but I'm pretty sure they are all vegan across the line. Pacifica, I believe, was another one, and Lime Crime. Those are the main ones I know of that are like 100% just like espouse themselves as being vegan completely. So very, very few. Everybody else you have got to, and there may be a couple more out there. They're just ones I don't use and I'm not quite as familiar with. They're not like bigger names for me that I've, you know, that I play around with. So those are kind of the big ones for me that I know. But everything else you have to just actually go dig and find which products specifically are vegan. So what do I have in my kit that is vegan? Pretty much I rely mostly on my Arbonne to cover the vegan status. I have a few things from Tarte that I know are, like the Shape Tape is. I think I discovered that the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, I have that in my kit, is one of my bronzing options. I also have Arbonne and other ones, but I think the Physicians Formula bronzer is vegan. There's a couple of Urban Decays that are vegan. Like I have the Naked Flushed palette. My NYX Matte Finish Spray is vegan. Ofra Highlight is vegan. The lash glues were vegan, the Duo and the Kiss. I have some Juvia's Place Loose Highlight that I discovered was vegan. There were a couple things from Charlotte Tilbury that were vegan, but others that were not. I think the Rose Gold that I had might have been. I could be wrong on that one. I forgot to mention this one. Another one that is absolutely wonderful that meets all criteria. that I've been looking for, vegan, cruelty-free, gluten-free, and paraben-free, is the Lash Princess mascara. So that is my, I'm not using my Arbonne mascara in my bridal kit because it's not waterproof, and you gotta have waterproof for brides. Come on, everybody's gonna be crying. Boo. What? So, but Lash Princess has it all, and it's the cheapest, and it's my favorite mascara, like, of all time anyway. So it's wonderful, and it meets all that criteria. So that one I have stocked up on for everything, basically. There's a couple of Milani lip pencils. There's a lot of things in Milani that were vegan free, cruelty free and vegan. So some of the lip pencils, the understatement lip pencils, I think it was, and I have several of those. There's, again, e.l.f., like I said, my Sigma brush cleaner. Some of the Sigma brushes are vegan. The Ardell lashes are vegan. So that's just kind of going through the list of things that I have. And besides that, it's just, also Illamasqua foundation that I really liked, and I think I've talked about on here before, was vegan. That was most of it. Even Wet n Wild Highlight, I have that. That was a vegan product and cruelty free. So just kind of listing off what I had in my kit that actually is in the vegan category. So now let's talk about gluten-free. This is another area I was kind of focusing on, and the reason is because there are people that have to be gluten-free. So my cousin is an example. I was going to do her makeup, but she absolutely has to have all gluten-free everything, including like down to her shampoo. And I've had to kind of put her off for a little while because I don't have 100% gluten-free in my kit right now. I probably am maybe 60% gluten-free in here, but there's definitely some products that are not. So I went on that hunt for like, what is gluten-free? Because, you've got people with celiac disease, and this is an important thing for them. They have to do all gluten-free makeup, just like they do in their diet. So all Arbonne products are gluten-free, which is convenient, but unfortunately, it is very hard to find in makeup elsewhere. So e.l.f., again, you're safe. What do I have? I've got the Tarte. I believe Tarte is all gluten-free. Is that correct? Let me find where I have my other Tarte. Yes, I believe Tarte is you're safe on. Another drugstore one is Physicians Formula. They are gluten-free. And Too Faced is, from what I have read, is completely gluten-free with the exception of like one lip pencil or something. So look up what that lip pencil was, but besides that, they're like all gluten-free. And yeah, that's the only ones I really know of. There may be more out there. I just am not aware of them. Most of them, it's like you have some that are gluten-free to choose from and some that are not, and you have to look them up one by one. But the ones you can reliably rely on is e.l.f. Like at the drugstore, you want e.l.f. Physicians Formula if you're gluten-free. With high-end, for the most part, Too Faced and Tarte. And that's all I can think of. Now, sometimes I think there is, it kind of all depends on just how sensitive you are to gluten too, because sometimes the companies might be gluten-free as far as like they don't use any derived formulas from gluten, but they might be sharing a facility that uses it, that kind of thing. So I don't necessarily know as far as like sharing of facilities and that kind of thing, but as far as derived, those are the ones I know of that are gluten-free, that's certified as that. And again, my Arbonne. Okay, so the last thing we're going to talk about is clean brands, or the problem is, how do you define clean? Really, because there's like 100,000 different chemicals and allergens and formulas and things in beauty that you can have so many ingredients that are not there, but still might have one tiny little ingredient that bothers somebody. I mean, people have their own unique allergens and things that they're sensitive to, but there's some common triggers across the board on things, and there's common things that are just not good for us. They upset our hormones, they're environmentally not friendly, just a whole host of different things that are just not great for you in general. And there's very few brands that outlaw all of these, or even make like one or two of these a priority to outlaw or to not include in theirs. So so my Arbonne is wonderful just because there's so many that they are conscious about. But the brands, I basically focus on just like the paraben-free, you know, even like sulfates. I never know how to pronounce it. There's phthalates, however you pronounce that word. But basically I kind of compose a list of like what's paraben free at least. So Elf, we're good. What else? Tarte, Too Faced, the Physician's Formula again, Ofra, Lash Princess again, like which is Essence. That was about it. That's in my kit. It is hard to find clean, like fully clean stuff. So I think I did read that though they're not cruelty-free or vegan, they don't meet any of the other criteria, but MAC apparently is paraben-free, and Clinique as well. So, and then of course you have Burt's Bees. I mean, I think everybody kind of knows of Burt's Bees as being like the natural clean brand at the drugstore and on like Amazon and all that. It is very hard to really compile a list because there are very few that are. And Tarte is paraben-free as well. So, you know, there's a few brands that, you know, I've just seen consistently kind of meet all the qualifications. Elf, Tarte, maybe not all the qualifications, but almost all of them. So for me, the brands that I am loving for all of these like values and things, Elf, Tarte, Too Faced for the most part, and these are some of my favorite brands anyway, so fabulous. A little Essence with their Lash Princess. My Arbonne, of course. Yeah, Kat Von D. I think that's it. Okay, I think that wraps it up. I feel like I babbled a lot and I should have been a little bit more organized here on how I presented it to you. You know, since I had been kind of just writing it down on my matrix, I couldn't remember some of the other brands out there that maybe I don't have in my kit, but just ones I had come across as I was researching because I just use them for myself, and they're brands that I've always used and familiar with. So I wanted to kind of share them all. But hopefully that helped, and I will probably update at some point, especially, you know, my makeup kit is pretty much, it's complete enough for now to where I'm able to work on some clients, and I've been doing practice models and really just perfecting my skills. But I want to get it a lot more complete where I have a full range of products that meet all of these categories. So at the moment, I unfortunately, you know, if somebody came in and they wanted nothing but vegan, I can't offer it yet. If they want nothing but gluten-free, I can't offer it yet. Nothing but paraben-free, I can't offer it yet. I can pretty much offer cruelty-free. So that's more where I'm working towards now, is to be able to fill this kit up completely to offer all of those categories to whoever needs it. But it's at least full to do makeup on most everybody. And so that's where I've been at. And so eventually I will come out with a video for you just sharing what's in my kit. And maybe we can share a little bit about what's in each of these categories too in the kit. So that's where I want to move next with you. And so hopefully that will be soon. Anyway, enough babbling. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Bye guys.